Hello and welcome to the LDM Show. I'm your host, Charles Laloma. Today, my co-host is not going to be here. She is actually on assignment for about probably a whole month. So we'll miss her. We'll wish her all the luck until she comes back in July. But let's get to it. You know, it is Thursday. It has been a little rainy. There's days has that been okay, which is great and all concept of it. I'm sorry, I'm just gonna go here live to make sure I'm live. But overall, the weather has been great. We do need some rain no matter what. I think to me, I prefer rain, not every single day, mostly on the weekday. Leave the weekend or at least the days I have off nice and sunny so we can celebrate, right? But right now, let's go jump to it. Let's go jump to some word on the streets. All right, well, here's word on the street. Uh, Camilo Anthony was charged as an adult for first degree. For the people that don't know who Carmelo Anthony is, he's not the basketball player. He's not anything else. I know it sounds familiar, but this is about the young teenager who went to the opposite side of our team and stabbed a young boy to death. And he states it was allegedly it was self-defense. Many people are saying no. So there was a whole lot of things going on. I'm gonna tell you my opinion. This is my opinion. You can agree with it. You can't. You want to. That's on you. But there was no way that this was self-defense, unless he foreseeing that he was going to get in trouble or something. But let's set the stage. The gentleman, Carmelo Anthony, was in the opposite team of a rivalry team or whatever. It's probably not a great rivalry team, but anytime you have team versus team, of course you're going to have that competition type of thing. He goes to the other side of the team and sits down. The guy told him to get up so he can sit down because this is his team. Allegedly, someone overheard him, Carmelo Anthony, say, well, if you touch me, you'll find out what's going to happen, blah, blah, blah. I don't know. I wasn't there. I'm just saying this is what was said. And then he did touch them, but Carmelo Anthony and his side is saying that he did more than touch. So he goes into his bag, takes out the knife, and stabs him. Yeah, that's not self-defense. Self-defense, you cannot stop for a moment and then go and do something and later on. Self-defense has to be at that moment. You hit me, took out my knife, stabbed you. That type of thing. But not go step away, go into my bag, come out, and then stab. That is not self-defense. You're already past that level of self-defense. It's the same sense of if someone comes to your house, they say to rob your house and you shoot them in your house. Yes, but then all of a sudden the guy robs your house and steps out your house and he's already like on the driveway, let's say, and you shoot him. That's not self-defense. So that's where a lot of people are like, oh, this is messed up. And it's not. If you notice, I said the young man, because I don't make it a black and white thing. I know the media is, I know the people are trying to make it a black and white thing. It's not. It's a kid doing the wrong thing. That's all it is. And if it is a black and white thing, who's the more blamed? The one that got stabbed or the one that was stabbing? You know what I mean? Who's the most racist if you're going to put it black and white? So it's not a black and white thing. To me, it was more of a sports argument type of thing. When two teams are together, you want to start a rivalry type of thing, get into their minds. I play sports. I, fought in the ring. I did, and the first thing, it's always a mind game. You always set yourself up to do a little mind game. So I think that that's what it was about. It was more of a mindset game and trying to be more macho than he was thinks he was. And to me, we need to teach our kids. If you want to try to be macho, let's say, or try to be all tough, and you think you all that, then you don't need a knife. Sorry to say, you don't need a weapon. If you're that tough, your weapons are already with you, or they can be your mouth as a voice to calm everything down, or your given weapons, which is your arms and your legs. As for me, my weapons are always with me, which is my arms and legs. So for me to get a weapon, it would have to be 2, 3, 4 people, trying to fight me. Of course, I'm going to grab a weapon. Or if it's a big King Kong Bundy type of, guy, I don't know if all my martial arts are going to knock this guy down, and I ain't going to get hurt. And if there is one there, there's the there. As a martial artist, we learn that everything around us is a weapon. So you rarely would catch someone in martial arts carrying a weapon. Yes, they will, but if they learn that everything around them is a weapon. But that's not here or there. Let's get back to this little case here, word on the streets. But he has been charged with first degree. So if he found guilty, he will be doing many, many years. And they're charging him as an adult, not as a kid. Let this be a lesson to all the kids that are watching this case unfold, or even watching this show right now. You act like you're an adult, you're gonna live a life as an adult. So you can't have two, sides of the streets and thinking you okay. You got to pick a side. You want to be a kid, be a kid. If you want to try to live an adult life, that's why there's adult responsibilities and repercussions and everything else that's going to happen with that. So you try to be an adult, and that's what happened. So let's see what happens in the court. But again, ladies and gentlemen, take your pride away. Take your machismo, everything away, because this is not a black and white thing. This is about two kids who, one did the wrong thing, and now with the law of physics, there is always, you have an action, there's always a reaction. So let's teach our kids to start thinking before reacting in this sense of the matter, and to keep their anger away, because their anger is what's causing them, and their anger has nothing to do with the person. It's sometimes how they were brought up, hating people. You hate the cops, you hate the white people, you hate the black people, you hate this, you hate that. Let's take that vocabulary word completely out, and you'll see. And instead of saying, oh, I hate these people, put down, I need to understand these people. I need to understand the cops. I need to understand this. What happened to, walk a mile in a person's shoe thing? You get to learn who that person is more than anything else. So let's find out. But also, another thing, a word on the streets before we cut word on the street off, is that a bill has been passed, and it's called the One Big Beautiful Bill has passed. But is it in law yet? Not yet. They are going to go towards it. But I read it, and it's a long, long page. If you have not read it yet, you can go to the government webpage and type in the beautiful bill. It'll pop up. The whole bill is there. First of all, before I even say anything, I don't like really speaking politics here on the LDM show. That's why I have this podcast called Speak Out, where I get through the whole thing. But what I want to say is stop listening to the media. I don't care if you're a Democrat. I don't care if you're a Republican. I don't care if you're freaking a Martian or whatever you want to call yourselves. Um, Stop listening to the media. Because right now I can be like, I can lie and say whatever I want to say about the beautiful bill. And if you're in my type of party or you're my fans, you're going to believe me. That's the way media is. Media is only one side, and you have to find out which side it is, because media has not been a two-sided show for a very, very long time. I remember when I was young, there was never talking about, oh, this party or this party. No, they just used to say, hey, there's a new tax bill and this is how the bill is. They used to tell you straight out what it was. They never lied, they never sugarcoated. And back when I was young, it was called investigator reporters, investigating reporters. That's what you had there. So it was like, let's say with the Camilo Anthony thing, no one would come and say, hey, Camilo Anthony did this, did that, yeah, it's a black and white thing. No, they will come out and say, hey, a young kid named Camilo Anthony has stabbed someone. We will be following up on this story as we investigate more and get to you. That's what they used to say. And then maybe a week or so later, we used to get the story. Or if they cracked the story within 2 to 3 days, let's say, what happened? And a lot of the people my age will have a flashback. It was called, we are breaking this for an updated news. They used to cut our shows because they cracked the case. In other words, the investigating reporters did their job. They investigated and found out, and they wanted to report it before every other news did. Now, no. Now you have one news saying, hey, you found out Charles Laloma is on the LDM show and he's speaking about the news. Hey, this is ABC News. Did you hear? Charles Laloma is on the LDM show and he's talking about the news. Hey, this is NBC. Like, they say the same damn thing every single time. They might word it different. They might say, hey, on LDM, Charles Laloma is speaking about news. They'll change it a little bit, but it's the same thing. And then, let's say if they don't like me. Charles Laloma again, at it again, talking nonsense on the LDM show about news, because they are not my party. And they would change everything that I just said, and they would change it around to make it look like I'm the bad one. Or they would never say the straight story. So stop listening to the media and do your homework. Do your investigating reporter. And I don't mean go to Google and say, hey, Google, tell me this and this and that. And that's it. Because you got to remember, Google is not an entity that would just take stuff out the air and say, oh yeah, it's this and this and that. No. Google is someone that wrote it in there to answer your questions. So if I don't want you to know everything, I'm not going to put it in there. Internet is not an entity. And internet is written by man, and I mean human. Before I'll be like, oh, but women's right too. Yeah, I mean humans. That's why the phrase is for. But it is written, so they can change whatever they want on the internet and put whatever fits there. So do your homework. I read the big, beautiful bill because people was like, oh my God, they're gonna take my Medicaid away. I need it because I'm handicapped or I'm disabled. I can't work. I can't. And when I was reading some of it, I even did find words on this page, and I put disability, and you can do the same thing, and all the phrases will come out where all they speak about disability. And maybe I was so tired and sleepy I didn't read every single thing, or I missed something. I don't know. But what I read was they're not attacking people with disability. You're okay. You still need it. What they are attacking are some of the medical companies and medical insurance like Medicaid and all that are charging a whole lot of money for on tax people and other things to service some of these people. So like spending $200-300 on a Tylenol. And for many people, they'd be like, well, I don't spend the $200 on Tylenol. I get it for free. Yeah, but it comes from tax money. You know what I'm saying? So nothing is free in this world. Remember what your parents used to tell you? Nothing is free in this world. So if someone wants to give you something and say, I'm going to give you this from the kindness of my heart, my mom used to always tell me, watch. Later on, they're going to try to bring it out or, say something, especially in the hood. We heard it many times. Oh, you can do me this. Oh, why? You can't do me this favor? Man, remember back 20 years ago, you needed something, I gave it to you. So you didn't do it for free or from the kindness of your heart. You did it for, let me cash this in later. So you wanted your chip. So having Medicaid or Medicare or, insurance and all this, even if you have regular insurance like myself that I have to pay monthly, I'm still paying, but half of the stuff is pretty much free because I get discounts on the medicine. So the rest of the medicine that I'm not paying for, like I had to pay for vitamin D pills, I had to pay $25. But I looked at when the papers came that, I don't know if you guys, your insurance does this, but I get insurance papers saying this is not a bill, and it tells me what I purchased. And then they'll show me my money that I paid, and then they show the money that they gave to the insurance. And wow, vitamin D pills are expensive. So I'm still paying basically because I am a taxpayer. So even though I'm paying the $25 for a bottle, I'm still paying, overall. So that's what basically they are trying to stop. And elders, you're okay. Seniors, and they putting a whole pretty much good thing I seen there for veterans that are disabled. You're not a thing. What they mostly are attacking are people that has been sitting down, that can work, has 2 arms, 2 legs, 2 eyes, ears, everything, and able to work. No mental issues, no physical issue, no pregnancy, no kids, no nothing. And they're sitting collecting welfare. Those are the ones that are getting cut first, I think. I'm not too sure. This is, I got to read it again because like I said, I was reading a lot of it and it's a lot to read. But what I seen there was that they are going to be cutting theirs unless they can prove that they really need it, or I think they're going to be trying to bring back the school thing if I'm not mistaken. But I'm not going to get into the whole thing of what it is, but I've been seeing a lot of forced things on air, on Facebook, on the news. Read it. You can attack me all you want here on the comments and everything, but if you never read the bill, please don't say nothing until you read the bill. And then say, hey, Charles, you were wrong. Here's what I seen in the bill. And send it to me. I love things like that. I love to learn if I made a mistake or I missed something. Like I said, when it's a long document, your brain sometimes goes, okay, I'm skipping this. You know what I mean? So if you read the bill and you see something that I just said right now that contradicts it, put it up, inbox us, the LDM show, inbox us. I would love to go to see it. And I will say it on the air the next week. Like, hey, someone just showed me where it does say they're going to be cutting this and cutting that. But for now, I have not seen that. Yeah, there are some bad things that are in there. But again, I'll talk about that on Speak Out. But yeah, the beautiful bill has been passed. So watch that and be careful. But that's all I have right now for Word on the Streets, and I'll be right back. All right, welcome back to the LDM Show. Uh, Hope you're having a good time, and I thank you for the ones that stood here to watch. Because I know sometimes commercials, you'll be like, "Oh, I'm out," and then you don't come back. So I'm glad you guys came back. Uh, I do want to say that we're gonna have a good topic today that I just seen online, which was kind of funny, and it made me laugh and it also made me think a lot, and I was sad. I had a bunch of emotions, and I'll explain why later on when we talk about our topic of the day. But right now, I want to talk about one thing that's been going on that's been bothering me, and I notice a lot of things that have been happening, right? So one of the things is prices pretty much are going up because minimum wage went up. So now I have to pay my workers more money. So now I have to raise products up a little bit more so it can, pay for some of these employees. Now, with that said, there are some companies that all cause minimum wage went up. Doesn't really mean they should put their prices up because their profit margin is so large anyway, it's not going to hurt you. There's some companies that are like us. If we lose $2 right now, there's some people that can lose $2 and it's never going to bother them. Hey, I lost $2. That's all right. Some people can lose $20. They'll be a little upset. Oh man, I lost $20, but it won't affect them so much. That's exactly how it is on some of these big companies. They losing $20 or $2, let's say, and they complaining about it. So now they want to raise the product up so they can get those $2 back. So that's what I'm saying, that some of these companies don't really need to be raising their products up because you still make a profit. Okay, you made $10 million a year, let's say, profit. Now minimum wage went up. You're making 9,990,000. Or you lose $10,000 a year, let's say, or 20, whatever it is. You still made a big problem. I know you didn't go from making $10 million and all cause minimum wage went up to like $15 in some places. They're trying to do $25 in another. I know you didn't go down $9 million and now you're only making $1 million a year. I know that didn't happen. You probably lose a $1 or $2 million, but you still made a profit. And when I say a profit for the company, I know some people right now don't understand this. Some people was like, yeah, but they got to pay their employees and they got to pay the lights and everything. No, that's net worth. That's net profits and all that. I mean profit, meaning after they pay the bills, after they pay the employees, the insurance, every bill they have, their profit, their home, their take home is about $10 million. That's what I'm trying to say. So after all that is done, with that said, I found another thing that is making companies raise their margins a little on their products, and why sometimes you won't even see eggs go down. And I say eggs because people complain about eggs because they want to blame someone and not the other one. Anyway, why you don't see some of your groceries go down? Why you don't see some of your electronics go down? And it has nothing really to do with well, it does have to do with minimum wages going up and, life going up. But that's just one factor of it. Especially in New York, your products are not going down because of parking tickets. Yes, I said it. You probably didn't even realize it or knew it. Parking tickets. When you have a car double parked or parked in the wrong your meter goes out and everything, they give you a parking ticket. You go and you pay it. Flat out, you have nothing to say, you get mad, you pay it. But if they give you that parking ticket, you don't get another one until, maybe I'm wrong because I never happened to me, but you don't get another one because you're parked there and then 5 minutes later the guy comes back and gives you another ticket. Never happened to me. I never seen that. I never came back after 2 hours and I forgot, because sometimes I shop and I'll be like, oh, I forgot to put money in the meter. And in my mind, I'm like, I already got a ticket. I'm not even going to bother running out. Sometimes when I come out, whew, by luck, I didn't get a ticket. But sometimes I do, but it's never 2 to 3 tickets. It's always just that one. Well, truck drivers and delivery drivers are winding up getting up to 9 tickets a day, sometimes 2 in the same spot, because they have to park and unload to the supermarkets and all this. And there are videos catching the ticket people giving tickets to these trucks and not giving tickets to the cars that are parked where the truck's supposed to be parking. There are signs that saying no parking from 7 to 5 or something, or 4, due to delivery. No, only commercial parking only. But some people still park there and they're not giving them a ticket, but they're giving the delivery drivers tickets. And sometimes the delivery driver will park one in a double park, get a ticket, and then they have to deliver like 2 blocks down to another supermarket or another store or whatever. And that same ticket person will walk all the way over there with them and then give them another ticket. Some companies do make their drivers pay for their tickets, and which those companies, you need to fight those things, because you're telling me to deliver something in a place where you know there's really no parking, and you have not spoken to the company for them to make sure that they have a place to park, and you're telling the drivers. So now the drivers have to drive around and wait, and you know you're not going to get a parking for a big truck. It's me, and I have a small car looking for parking sometimes in my neighborhood, and I had to drive around 10 to 15 minutes. That sometimes I even got upset, drove back to the studio, parked the car in our parking lot, and then wind up walking or taking a cab home. That's how bad it gets. So you can imagine a car, a regular van, and you're talking about a truck. A truck is not going to drive around the block many times waiting or looking for parking. So, but now there are also companies that do, they do pay the tickets. They don't care. They wind up paying the tickets and everything. So 7 to 8 tickets, what, $50, $60, whatever it is. So you figure they can be wasting about $300 to $400 a day per truck on tickets. Do your math. Let's say if I got 10 trucks, that's $3,000 a day. 30 days, let's say a month, I'm sorry. You're adding up to almost 900,000. Let's say, I'm just throwing about, I didn't do the math, I'm just trying to do it on the top of my head, or 30,000 or whatever, thousands of dollars, just let's say. Every single month they are paying for tickets. Guess who has to pay for them? The consumer. That's why prices don't hardly go down. So I think we need to start telling our congressmen and our so-called mayors that are for the people and all this, because nobody is for the people, but we need to start attacking that. Besides rent and, the big 2 things to me in this world right now is landlords putting rent up for no reason. For no reason. And also putting up prices because of tickets. So maybe if we need to attack giving exemptions to delivery trucks and letting delivery trucks double park sometimes. Sometimes you can't really double park because the streets are so narrow. But if they have to because they have to do deliveries to the supermarkets and stuff like that. Maybe deliveries like UPS and post office are different exemptions. Like, or all the same, but a time limit. Like, hey, you can't just be sitting there all day yapping your mouths. Load and unload quick and let's keep it moving. Something like that. But for them to keep getting tickets back after back after back, and we're paying for them, our daily lives are not going to go down. The price is not going to go down because, put it like this, I'm a businessman. If I'm getting tickets because I have to do deliveries, but you want to give me a ticket, I'm going to be putting that money into the consumers. You might not notice because sometimes they put pennies or nickels. This thing went up 10 cents, 25 cents. But then there's some that you do notice. Wait, last week you were $5 and now this week you're $7. You know what I mean? So just let's fight that. I think that's one of the things we need to fight besides fighting price gougings on rent. I always think your taxes didn't go up. You didn't fix anything in the building. You know what I mean? You're paying for the same things. Why is the rent going up? Let's go back to the times where the landlord had to give you 30 to 60 days notice of how much your rent is going to go up and why did it go up. Now, you can't be saying, oh, because I fixed the roof. You will have to fix that anyway. That's wear and tear. Sooner or later, you will have to fix that. Or I had to fix the door. You had to fix that later anyway. Sooner or later, you will have to fix that. Talk to me. What did you do to my apartment? That you have to fix everything. That wasn't cause of wear and tear. What happened to those days? That's why a lot of people's rent rarely went up back in the days, $1, $2, because I had to go fix a light that you kept breaking. I had to fix a wall that you broke. That's why your rent went up. But if it didn't happen, why is my rent going up? Like my place right now that I'm realizing a lot of stuff, now I'm nitpicking. Hey, I need this refixed because it's been almost 5 years. You need, according to the law, you need to change this. Because now if you want to keep putting my rent up, now you're going to have to work for that rent. In other words, I'm a little picky and, some people are going to be like, wow, that's crazy. But let's stop that. Let's stop trying to raise these rents and giving tickets to trucks. And let's just figure out what is some of the cause of life, funding and pricing going up. Like the trucks, products go up because of that, all the tickets. Then I have to pay more of this, but then I have to pay more rent and nothing happened. Like you didn't do nothing. So maybe we need to go with, again, the limit of rent like they used to do. You cannot go up in rent no more because, and I'm talking to landlords, as a business person, when I buy a building, when you buy a building, you actually need to budget yourself. I'm going to have this building for like 5-10 years. Pricing of lights go up every single year. Then I will have to repaint the building once every 2 to 3 years. That's going to be, especially if you're in the Bronx, the front door locks are going to be broken all the time because they love to break the doors because they don't want to pay for keys to get into their house. Some of them don't even live there. They want to break the door and go in and out of the place. But anyway, I have to pay for this, put that all in a 10-year budget. Charge the person the rent, and then you don't have to worry about it if it goes up or not because it's already in the budget. But a lot of people want to make so much money that you get mad that you're losing $1,000 for the year because now you had to pay for this, pay for that. That's the price of being a businessman. That's the price of being a landlord. But anyway, we're going to take a quick break and I'll be right back. All right, welcome back. And again, thank you for coming back to watch us. But a little quick thing that I was saying, I was talking about how ticket drivers are getting, delivery drivers are getting a lot of tickets. Uh, the biggest place that they're getting tickets and prices are going up on products and everything are New York City, of course, San Francisco, and California. So that's why those places, if you notice, are kind of expensive, all three of them. And that's one of the reasons, is because they're giving massive tickets to delivery drivers, more than they are of the regular people that are breaking parking laws. So that is crazy. Um, so let's watch out for that. But I do want to get into one good topic here that I've seen are I seen a video of a stepdad getting upset that the father came to pick up the kid, his kid, to take him out to a school event that they were having. They said, they were asking for the parents, and the father found out and wrote his name on the permission slip to go with them. Was he right or was he wrong? And now I'm going to give you the scenario. The video was totally different from what I'm saying now. I just wanted to say it this way because it makes a little more sense if you think about it. But the video was that he wanted to take him out somewhere that he found out they were going to, so he wanted to take him out. That was what the video was. But I want to make a little more dramatic and more drama in here. So I'm going to say it was a permission slip needed. But here's the scenario. You got the father, the stepfather, and then the mother. The mother, of course, has to tell the father everything, pretty much. Or the son would tell, or the daughter would tell the father, hey, I'm going to a trip. That's a given. So the father would sign the permission slip or go to the school and say, hey, now, in order for him to do that, the school will have to know that he is the father. And I'm going to tell you, and this is a scenario that has been happening a lot. I found many fathers that would go to either pick up their child or their mother, like forget, oh, I can't pick up my son. Can you pick him up? And when they go pick up their child, they don't release their child, even though the child say, hey, dad. They don't release sometimes to the dad because his name is not on the list. They find that out a lot. Their name is not on the pickup list. So even though the kid was screaming blue hell out of everything and saying, that's my dad, hi dad, you hear him screaming, hi dad, and he'll show photos, and they sometimes would not release them. They will have to call the mother or the person on the list, call them and see if they send them. So as a father, if you're not with your child's mom, make sure your child's mom puts you on that list, places you on that list. Now, if you have a order of protection or something like that, or you're a threat to take the child and leave, yeah, your name is not going on that list. I wouldn't even put your name on that list. You know what I mean? As a principal, I will scratch that name off the list quickly. But if you're rational and you're both trying to raise the child, put it like this. If the court said to you guys that you are having joint custody, meaning it's 50-50, there are different custodies. I'll break it real quick. There's 50-50, which is joint custody. There's weekend custody, meaning partial custody. He goes on your weekend and then goes on the other, stays in the home at the other weekend. Joint custody is not like that. Joint custody, sometimes you have him for 1 week, he has him for 1 week. Everything is 50-50. Some of the joint custodies, there is no child support. There is only receipts. And if you go to a private school and you're paying $10,000, let's say, $5,000 is for one person, $5,000 is for the other. They put it together, but they both have to agree to send them to any event or spend any money. It can't be just a mother or the father saying, "Hey, I brought these clothes and I thought it would look nice and they cost me $1,000. You got to give me 500. It doesn't work that way. And it should never work that way, no matter what kind of custody you have. It should always been spoke about. That way you don't be like, wow, I be buying all these clothes for your kid and you don't even give me no money for them. No one told you to buy it. And plus you have to buy it. It's your child. But if you are going to spend a massive amount of money or you want to buy clothes, speak to each other. Hey, I'm about to buy your child some clothes. Can you chip in? Yes, this is my budget and this is what we're going to buy. We're not going to be buying no $3,000-$4,000 shirts when we only make $200 a week. We don't live that lifestyle. You know, that's another thing too. Start trying to live the lifestyle you do not live. Okay? Your budget doesn't tell you to go try to live luxury and all this. Your budget tells you to try to save some money because one thing happens, you're done. So, but is the father correct for doing so? And is the stepfather wrong for putting his 2 cents into it? Right now, I can tell you it all depends on the situation. That's what a lot of people are going to say. It all depends on the situation, Charles. Maybe that father never been around. Maybe that father tried to be around. You know what I'm saying? And this is his way of saying, or maybe he haven't. And then this is his way of saying, yes, I'm trying to be in my child's life, so now I want to go. Or I'm not gonna lie, or maybe he just want to be stubborn and, you know, try to show his dominance and say, that's my child, not yours. You're just a stepdad. It can be like that because male egos do play a lot of parts sometimes. You don't want to be a father until someone else is going to be a father or wants to step up. That can happen. I'm not going to say it don't happen, but right now I'm just saying, I'm thinking that he's a good father, she's a good mother. Sometimes the stepdad does things on purpose to show their dominance too. When it comes to 2 male egos, it is very Billy Goat bumping head type of thing. You know what I mean? Mountain goats hidden and everything else. When it comes to a woman, remember, there ain't nothing like a woman's thorn, like they say. So when the woman gets angry at their ex, they would do things to piss them off. They would be like, oh, he's with his real daddy. Like, and stuff like that. They would say things like that, which you're not hurting no one but your child. When 2 people bicker, you lose, in some cases, you even lose relationship with your child as a father. And I've seen it happen many, many times. You lose your relationship because the primary parent put a lot of stuff in the kid's head or brought him up or her a certain way, kept them from the other parent. So many things. So as a parent and you're separated, try to figure out a way. But to me, no, the father, it is correct. It's the parents. Now, when you hear the word parents, you're like, oh, those are the ones that are in the house with the child. Those are the parents. Technically, I can see it. I can see it. I can see that it is technically parents because they are there. But when you're speaking about the child parent, like if they're saying the child parent needs to come, then that is the original mother and original father. You know, the ones that made them and, you know, did the horizontal poker and all that to make this child. Those are the original parents. As a single, no, I can't say single mother because a lot of people are like, I'm single, but then you ask them where the kid is, the kid is with their father. So then you're not a single parent, you're a co-parent. So as a co-parent, I think anything that has to do with your child should be discussed between y'all. Call them up. Hey, did you know your child has a field trip next week? They asking for one of the parents to go. I can't go. Can you go? If not, then I can ask the stepdad. You know, if you can't do it, then we'll ask the stepdad. Or if you can't do it, I'll ask the stepmom to go. But just don't automatically jump to the step parent. Give the other parent a chance, the father or the mother, because there are fathers who have custody of their kids. So that's why I say the other parent. So the main custody parent should always give the other parent opportunity, let's say, to go or do something or pay for something. Don't just jump to the step parent and then complain to the other parent. Oh, see, I had to go to the step parent because you don't give no money. You was not gonna go. You didn't give the person a chance. So let's keep it at that. If you're not gonna give the person a chance, don't do it. Don't say it. But in all reality, the father had all the rights to sign the paperwork, especially if his name is on there. He is the next of kin or whatever, beneficiary, whatever he is to the child. He has all rights. And this goes to a lot of my hood people. You have a father sign that birth certificate. You are telling that person, that father figure, that he is going to be a father to that child, but also he is going to be a decision maker for that child. I'm tired of people saying he signed a birth certificate. That means he's the bank account. They don't say that. I'm just trying to say that's how they make them feel. Like all they are is a bank. I'm just going to go to him when I need money. I'm just going to go to him when things. I'm going to go to him when I, as a mother, has been raising him for so long, but he is getting too out of hand. Now I'm going to go to the father. So if you would have been involving, now I'm not saying that all fathers out there want to be fathers, but you picked him. You knew he didn't want to be a father and stuff like that. But anyway, I'm talking about the good fathers. If you give the good fathers a chance and say, hey, your child over here badmouthed me when so I punished him. So if he calls or she calls and say, I did punish them, and this is why. So when your child calls you and say, hey, mom, punish me, yeah, you shouldn't have done this. Because you got to remember, even though you don't live with each other, kids are smart. They know how to divide the parents. So the same way, if you're living with each other, if one parent says no, the other parent says no, just to back up the parent. Sometimes that's what it is. My wife will say, sorry, I have my alarm going off at all times. But my wife will tell my son no, and he'll probably try to come to me. And I already heard her say no, and I'll be like, no. And then I'll go to my wife, why did we say no? You know what I mean? Or did you ask your mom? Or she'll be like, did you ask your dad? So keep that in-house thing, even if you're out of house. You know what I mean? So, but we're going to take another break. And when we come back, we're going to hit a real funny, good topic. All right, welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. We have a good topic here. This is the topic of the day. One of the two topics. I love watching videos and people sending me information and asking me my opinion. And just like that one, here's another one. And today is all about pretty much, this one is also a funny one, it's about dating. So this is Love Corner, basically. Will you date someone with kids? And if so, how many? Comment below. If you do date someone, would they be 1 year old, 1 kid, 2 kids, 3 kids? What's your minimum of kids and max of kids? But also, I say when I was younger, I would date someone that had kids, but I would not get serious with someone that had kids. That's what I would have said. I did once, and never again after that. And it's because, you get attached to the kid, and then we break up, you can't see the kids and stuff like that. Or the baby father had that drama. I didn't have the baby father drama, but after we broke up, I couldn't see the kids, which was kind of messed up. And not only that, I couldn't see the kids wind up, protecting their mom, like, oh no, my mom doesn't like it, and blah, blah, blah. But anyway, a lot of females want to have people date them, and they have 3 to 4 kids. Now, it also, I can say to me, myself, if I date someone that has 1 kid, I would have to say maybe yes, maybe no. They can have 2, 3 kids. The kids all depend on the youngest one. How old is the youngest one? That's how I see it. So if you have 1 kid, but your kid is only 1 year old, yeah, it's going to be a problem. That's going to be a major problem. I'm just going to tell you guys, and this is why when they just don't know how good a person I am. I hear that a lot from a lot of females. If you were that good, you would have not been single and looking for another person. If you were that good of picking someone, if you were that good of keeping someone. So let's keep keep it. And I know a lot of people right now are probably going to complain, but it's the same thing with a guy. Oh man, this girl was no good. No, maybe you were no good picking that female. Maybe you were no good, making decisions, and that's why she left you. Maybe so. Oh, a lot of people always want to say that the breakup or it was the other person's fault, but never wanted to look inside themselves. You know what I mean? Like, oh, maybe it was my fault. I didn't do this. I didn't do that. Maybe sometimes it wasn't. It was just dumb. There are cases where people just sabotage their own relationship because they never had a good relationship like that. So they wind up sabotaging their relationship. So, but there was a video with a female that has 3 kids. One of them was 2 years old, and the other one's a little older, of course. Said that she is looking for someone that is dated. She was like, I don't understand why people don't want to date me. She is pretty, so if you see her with no kids, of course you're going to approach her, but then you see that she has 3 kids and they're all pretty much young, you might not. But here is the kicker of the whole video. They asked, will you date someone, a male with kids? And she said no. If she was there, she would not date a person with kids if she didn't have kids. Let me rewind that real quick. If she did not have kids, she would not date someone that has kids. But she wants someone with no kids to date her because she has kids. See the wrong in that? Put it like this. If you have kids, it is going to be difficult for you to find someone. But if you're a female and you do have kids, don't just get someone just because you want someone there. Just because you've been alone for so long. I've been taking, and I heard this, I took care of my kids for so long. When is going to be my turn? When the kids are out. When they're out your house. When they're old enough to understand, either or. That's when it's your turn. You chose to have kids. You chose to sleep with a person. And now I say chose to have kids, meaning I'm not talking about abortion or all that. That's not here or there. When you sleep with someone unprotected, you as an adult knows what's might happen. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, but I never got pregnant for a long time. I'm not about to get pregnant. Or the guy, no, my pull-out game is all good. No. Yeah, when it's good until when it's not. So once you slept with someone unprotected, you're already taking the responsibility of what's going to happen. A reaction has a reaction. Remember that. So if you do wind up with a child and you wind up keeping the child and raising the child, then you have to sacrifice a lot of stuff for that child. Sometimes even dating. Sometimes it's sad to say, sometimes you got to put dating in the back burner. You know what I mean? Because you don't want go all nilly willy and every, Tom and Harry and all that coming and seeing your kid and being around your kid. You don't want to be like that movie. What do you say when you see someone and the kids scream out, "Are you my daddy?" You don't want that. You know what I mean? Just like myself, a lot of people don't know I have a son, as two sons really. People don't know my other son, who's way older. When I used to get him for the weekends, dating was out. It was done, gone, zip. There was no one coming to my house through the week that I had him, because we had joint custody. So the week that I have him, a whole week, and then there was no dating that week. There was no one coming to my house that week unless you're my friend or my family. And there was no such thing as we're dating, we're calling you my friend. No, because you're not going to meet my child. This is how I was. So I was not having it because of that reason. I'm not going to be like walking out, "Oh, this is the stepmama." No, you're not. He has one mom. Until my son is old enough to understand that, is when I will start dating in front of him or taking him on a date. But until then, they shouldn't have anyone around your child. That's the sacrifice you have to have. So if you have kids and you want someone to date you and you're pissed because they're not going to date you, first of all, that's their choice. You chose to have kids. They chose not to date people with kids. It's a choice. You can't shame them because of that. You can't call them a male chauvinist. You mama racist or whatever. I don't know. Whatever new words y'all gonna make out of it. You can't do that. You know what I'm saying? It's their problem. So keep that in mind. But let's get to another good topic. And this is the topic that I was talking about that made me smile, made me laugh, but also made me feel sad and everything, because there was so much emotions in there. But there's some videos where they have guys calling their male friends as a prank, just to see what they say or see how their reaction at night, just calling them and saying, "Hey, I just called to say good night." A guy telling another guy that. Yeah, you see how the way I said it, it kind of freaked you out probably as a male. You're like, "Oh, okay, and why are you calling me to say goodnight?" And here's the reason why I laughed. And I smiled, and I felt sad because my brother from another mother, or as Latino say, cousin, brother, no matter what it is, we had the biggest bromance out there. We were childhood friends. And when I mean childhood friends, his mom and my mom were childhood friends from junior high school or high school, if I'm not mistaken. I know they went to school together. And then we were born. I was born first. I'm older than him. And then we were friends because my mom and their mom were friends, and my dad like that. So far, anyway. And let him rest in peace. He died of cancer a few years ago. So we did this a couple of times. I used to call him, "Hey, baby." I just call him and say goodnight. That's how we used to talk, and we had, fun about it. Like, his wife will be on the background. "Hey, I'm gonna lend you him tonight, but I'll be picking him up tomorrow because we're gonna go to watch a game or something like that. He's mine all day," because that's the connection we had. So that's why it made me laugh. But some of the video was funny because some of the guys in the other line was like, they didn't know what to make of it. Okay. And then one guy was like, "Yo, bro, what you calling me talking about good night, bro? Yeah, that little sus, right there." I'm like, I knew you were kind of funny, but you calling me at night talking about good night? He didn't realize it was a prank, and some of the truth came out in some of the people. But some of the friends were like, "All right, cool, good night, you too, man. Y'all see you tomorrow." They made it into a manly thing. You could hear in their voice or the way they spoke. But one phone call really touched me when the guy said, hey, I just called to say good night, man. You know, before I go to sleep, I wanted you to know that I say to you, good night. See how I paused there? That was what the phone call was. It was silent for about 5 seconds at least. And you just hear the guy go, yo, man, thanks. I never had no one tell me ever in my life, good night. That is a blessing because that's why you're telling me that you want to make sure that I sleep well and wake up the same way I slept, alive. And I felt that, and I say thank you for that. I was like, wow. Even the guy that made the phone call in the video, he was like looking at the phone like he was shocked that he was calling to, you know, to make a prank or see what his friends say. And what he did was pretty much sparked a light into someone. So it is powerful. Have you ever done that? And I'm not talking about females. Females do that a lot. Females have a bond where guys use sign languages. That's other, you know, in other words, females use their voice. Guys use sign language. That's how it is. Y'all girls will be like, hey, I love you. Guys be like, yo, bro, you know what it is, man. I'll take you out tomorrow. You know, like, much love. Peace out. We rarely say it. Now, me and my boys, you know, we were 5 of us, brought up together since we were young. Couple of us since 9 years old, 10 years old, but we were inseparable. We used to say, hey, you know, check you out, love you, because we never knew what was going to happen. And I'm glad I did that because out of 5 of us, 3, you know, we're on 2 left. So it's always good to say, hey, love you, you know what I mean? No matter what. But as a male, it's kind of funny, you know, you have to rise up to that point. But we do say it in certain ways, you know? Hey, man, what you doing? Now, why you come over here and chill for, you know, drink some beer, watch the sports. Let me translate that for you. Yo, man, I missed you and I wanted to hang out with you, man. So why don't you come down here and I'll get some beer? You know, we'll just call and watch some sports. Just hang together. You know, we'll bond. That's basically what that meant. But they're not going to say it that way. A woman will. Girl, what you doing? Oh, man, I'm bored and I missed you, girl. Come over here, man. You know, I don't got nothing to drink, but we'll grab something, go to the store. Girls go straight out and say it. So that's why I'm saying, like, even relationships, watch it. Because in relationships, that's why they say, oh, man don't understand a female or female. No, men understand sometimes the female because the females say straight out. Sometimes, not all the time. But men rarely, like 95% of the time of speaking to their friends or to their mate, they don't really say what they feel. 80%, let's say 75% females do not say exactly what they feel, but they, when it comes to emotion-wise like this, like a touch of your emotions, they would say it. Hey, I love you. You know that, you know, me too. Oh, what, you can't say it back? Yeah, he did. He didn't say it the way you wanted it, but he did say it. So again, men grunt, you good, me love you, you know, women speak. So let's just check that balance, but call someone and say, hey, I just wanted to say good night and then see you tomorrow. So just like that, I'm going to say the same thing. Good night. I hope you have a great one and have a pleasant dreams, and we'll see you next week. Take care.